Roasties, welcome back to Let It Ride. Have a little bit of a hiatus at the end of the NRL season, but we are going to launch into some World Cup content here. Unfortunately, my main man, Hammy Goodman, he can't make it for this tournament. He's off gallivanting around the countryside and doing some other things. So called in an old friend. I've called him up off the bench into the starting lineup. A guy you might remember doing the Big Boy radio show with me through the Roasted podcast during last year is Elliot Lovejoy. How are you, my friend?
I like that I'm not even your second string quarterback anymore. I'm your Bailey Zappi from the Patriots. I'm third string. There's a lot of injuries in camp, and in we go. That's okay.
You just got to go back to what got us runs earlier on. What got us to win. So, mate, welcome back. How you been?
Yeah, no, good kicking along, mate. It's always nice to see your face and any excuse to chat footy. So I appreciate it.
It is, mate. And you're well into the NFL season. I can see you got the Bucks gear on. Lucky to get a win there on Monday morning.
Oh, no, we were coasting the whole time and just went a bit easy. I've actually, one of those arseholes. This is a 49.
Oh, 40. See, this is I can't see because of the camera's a bit unclear. Yeah, shit. So I knew you were a Bucks guy, but
you're halfway there.
Yeah, no.
I buy cheap jerseys of players that are left. So I got that many, Baker Mayfield jerseys and whoever else swaps teams all the time. Sitting at home because they're $20 as opposed to 150. So
I remember you put me onto that. It was a good shout too. So
you're welcome.
But yeah, mate. So you're up in Townsville now, enjoying life up there, as well as doing some work on what is it, Dead Set Buffheads? Is that since you've joined?
Yep. Since I jumped on, just filling in wherever they need me on Team Triple M, mate. It's been good. It was a wicked footy season, and the off season keeps on giving. And I suppose it's not really an off season when you got a World Cup.
How good is it? Like we're going to be getting games on Monday morning. Like I know you're up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. now for the NFL, like myself. So we're gonna have two screens going. We're gonna have NFL on one, rugby league on the other. It's going to be very exciting for the next 6 weeks, mate.
Oh, I just love that I've got no social life. So Saturday, the first game is 12:30. So I suppose it's Sunday morning, Sydney time, and that's England Samoa. That's going to be a belter. That's the game all around. So to start us off, yes, please.
What a kickoff, and we are going to get to those games shortly. But we've got a few topics we want to talk about because a few of the games we don't know too much about some of the players and things. We're gonna launch into it, but we've got a few topics. There's been plenty of talk, plenty of lead up to this World Cup. Plenty of talking points, but I think probably the biggest one has been how they're doing the squad numbers within all the teams. Now, I think Australia's really stuffed this up here with theirs. We're going to launch into it. The jersey numbers. So what we'll explain it for everyone. What the World Cup organisers did 3 years ago is say every team is going to have a squad, and each squad member is going to be allocated a number, and that's going to be their number for the whole tournament. Now, like a lot of squads have done, is listed there probably 1 to 17, and then they've got all their interchange players, extra bench player, extra squad members through to 24. So you've likely got, for us it would have been James Tedesco 1, say, Josh Adokar 2, Valentine Holmes 3, Latrell Mitchell 4, so on. What they did was they changed up and put Tedesco number 1. Then they went experienced players, who was the most experienced players, and then all the debutants got the rest. So what we have is 1 James Tedesco, 2 Daly Cherry Evans, 3 Ben Hunt, 4 Valentine Holmes, and then the rest. So we ended up, you've got Regan Campbell-Gillard in 6, Latrell Mitchell in 8. And it's just crazy.
Starting, and he's number 23.
23. It's crazy, right? So when they announced the team there yesterday, the lineup looked like a bunch of lotto numbers. And ultimately, if you don't have a guide or you don't follow the team intensely, if you're just a casual jumping in to have a look, you basically have no clue about where these players are playing. Me myself, I look at it and go, right, I know, Josh Adokar and Taulagi are on the wings, Valentine Holmes and Mitchell in the centres, but for the average casual one who this is going to be broadcast to a lot more people that we're trying to bring into the game, they're going to be confused as hell, right? Yeah. I'll let you tee off here if you want, Elliot. Let us know what you think. coming from, you love your American sports where they have personalised numbers and things like that. And I've actually spoken out about saying I thought we could bring into clubs personalised numbers, but I think this has almost ruined it now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I will disagree with you. I don't think it hurts a new fan. If you're trying to bring fans into rugby league, there's going to be people that go to games or watch these games that have never seen rugby league before that would have no clue that a winger should be in a 5 or a 2. I don't think that matters. But for a traditionalist, yeah, I don't understand it. I could get, as he said, the theory behind changing numbers if there was real reasoning too, but just out of experience of the squad, it does make it confusing, especially when we're getting up on a Sunday morning at 5 in the morning and we're half awake and haven't had a coffee yet, have no idea what's going on. As you said, Regan Campbell-Gillard, the world's biggest 6. It's just confusing unnecessarily. That's what I don't understand about it.
I think they could have done it way better. Is just have having the squad numbers is probably a little bit confusing when you have them come up against, like, say, Scotland, and you have these 20s to 24s coming in and playing these different positions. But ultimately, you'll look at the squad and go, right, I know this player. Oh, this player's coming in. At 5'8". That's why I listed, actually, I did my team sheet yesterday when Australia came in. Instead of putting the numbers, because I knew everyone would blow up about it, I just put the positions just to make it easier. And I think that's probably what they should do is, I know they have it on, when you go to NRL.com, they have number 1, fullback, number 2, wing. So they'll have all their numbers, but they'll have the actual position they're playing. But, how many people have that open while they're watching the game as well? That's where the confusing bit is. I've long stated that I thought personalised numbers for clubs, especially like Club 9s, if they ever bring that back, that would be the perfect opportunity to do it. Love to see like a Munster in 69 or something. I would buy that jersey, right? But when it comes to Australia, just keep it traditionally, keep it, keep the squad numbers. Another thing that sort of caught my eye was, I think Steve Renouf, he posted up on Twitter saying, here's my jersey from his tour. It was number 3, and that's what he played in his whole tour, and that's fine. Well, what happens, like, if you're number 3, you're named in centre, then next week against Scotland, that centre gets taken out and someone else comes in. Who's the true owner of the number 3 jersey? You got 2 people, right? So that's why I like the squad numbers, having just the squad numbers listed, and that's what you play in the whole tournament. So if you listed the squad as 23, but you play 5'8", then you play centre, at the end of the tournament, you still got the number 23 jersey. Just the way they've done it, the way they've organised it in experience, then debutants alphabetically, I just think it just screwed everyone, and everyone was off it straight away.
It's funny, you look at all these unnecessary changes that nobody asked for, that no fan wanted. The one big change we want in the game is to be able to roll on forward passes. But, hey, I mean, don't listen to the people, do your own thing. I don't know. It's confusing. It'll take a bit to get used to. At the end of the day, we have rugby league to watch in October, so I'm not whinging too much.
No, 100%. I think it'll be one game. No one will be talking about this come Monday, Tuesday, right? It'll be gone. We'll have some footy, and that's what we'll be talking about. But what will we be talking about at the end of the tournament? What teams are we going to be talking about? Who's going to be the big ones that we're going to be talking about at the end of this? So there's plenty of storylines out of this comp. So Australia, they've got 13 debutants coming in. New Zealand with a very, very strong squad. Can Tonga continue their rise? For you, what is the biggest talking point, or what's the biggest team we're going to be talking about at the end of the tournament?
Yeah, my smoky's Samoa. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll be top 4. I think they've been the little brother of Tonga for a while now, and I think that this is where they become the big brother as this tournament. I like their halves more than I like Tonga's. I love their back line. Their forward pack's relatively strong as well. I really think it's a great test for them first up. They play England. That's the early Sunday morning. Again, it's 12:30 Sunday morning Sydney time, so just after midnight. That's a great test for them first up, but Papali'i's in that forward pack. Their back line, they've got most of the Panthers there, and you add the hammer as well. I love that Samoan side on paper.
It is, look, it's probably their strongest I've ever seen it. I actually had that as well. I had Samoa, but I also had England due to the fact that I think these teams are going to meet, either in the quarters or the semis. And I think these 2 teams are the ones we're going to be talking about, in the fact that everyone's hyping up this Samoa squad. They're favourites against England. everyone's saying they need to go that next level. They've been very inconsistent in internationals over the past 10 years or even longer if you go back. But I threw in England as well due to the fact that they are going to clash. England are at home. Again, they've been a team that's been there. They played Australia in the 2017 final. They only scored. There was only one try in that.
6-0.
Yeah. So can they go that next level? Can they make this semi where they don't have to face Australia or New Zealand until the final? So really, it's theirs to lose by looking at that as well. So, but they will come up against I think Tonga and Samoa in the quarters. So. Look, I think it's going to be these two teams that we're going to be talking about. A, if they don't win it, that it's a failure. And then B, if they win it, then it's going to be the biggest talking point at the end of the tournament for me. So,
yeah, and I think I forget too that those English fans are just a different breed. They'll be sing-songing every English game. I've been watching a little bit of the Super League last year. I watched the prelim between Salford and I can't even remember. St Helens, sorry. And it's a physical game. You can say what you will about the Super League, and some people don't believe it's at a standard it should be at. It's incredibly physical. That English team, I think, will match physicality with Samoa this Sunday morning. It's easily the game of the first round by a long way.
Oh, 100%. I actually hate the scheduling of this, that it's 12:30 in the morning, and then the next game is not until 5:30. So there's going to be like a 3-hour gap, and I'm like, do I stay up, watch it, then just have a kip for 3 hours and then watch the 5:30?
Myself come Sunday afternoon.
Correct. Or, do I, just wake up for the 5:30 game and try and watch a replay at the same time without getting it spoiled? I don't know. Probably a question I'll ask everyone, like, what's their plans? Do we just pull an all-nighter and just sleep on Sunday, like you said, hate ourselves come Monday? So, well,
you have kids and responsibilities, so it's a bit harder for you. I don't.
It is, yeah.
I can do what I want, and it's okay.
It could hurt come Monday morning, but
exactly. And then NFL Monday morning.
Yeah, I know. When will we sleep? Sleep when we're dead, I suppose.
Exactly.
3 players that we're going to look out for. Now we've spoken about the teams that are going to be. Everyone's going to be talking about at the end, or who we think we're going to be talking about. Who are the 3 players that you think? Or that you're excited to see, basically. Not that you're necessarily going to be talking about them, but who you're excited to see or that we are going to be talking about.
Yeah, I've locked in and I ummed and I've brought this down from 20 to 10 and I finally have 3. I'd probably throw in a million honourable mentions, but I'll stick to the task. So Tino for Australia, I think is going to be the player of the tournament. That's my pick. I think he's going to be outstanding. He's lined up to start this week and he's a phenomenal player. What he did at the Titans this year without a lot of help, amazing. And he's 21 or he's 22. He's young. Justin Olam is somehow going to grow an extra gigantic quadricep playing for PNG.
He's got 2 big enough already. Does he need a third?
He'll find a new one. He's a passionate man at Melbourne. When he puts on that PNG jersey, different breed. I can't wait to see him line up for the Kumuls. And I ummed and ahed on this. I was thinking Taruva from Fiji. I was going to lock him in, but I'm going to go with Smokey. I'm going to go New Brown at Samoa. He's playing in the 9 jersey. His comeback story in itself is outstanding. I thought he was really good for the Tigers in a dreadful team when he came back half that year. I think he's clever. He'll score a lot of tries as well. Cup. I really like watching him play, and I think he's one to look out for.
Great 3 picks. Love them all. For me, I've gone Dylan Brown. I thought he's leveled up so much this year at Para. I think coming into this Kiwi squad, which is so strong, like I mentioned, he's going to be one of my players for the tournament, I think, and I think he's one of the smokies. I think looking at this Kiwi squad, they've got talent across the park, and I think he's just going to shine in there. Harry Grant, I'm really excited to see how he goes on debut. He gets a start off the bench this week. Really keen to see how he goes on the international stage. He's been rock solid for the Storm over the last couple of years, and now he's going to rise up. He always rises up for the Maroons as well. So I expect him to jump in and take this jersey and run with it. And of course, Joseph Sawali for Samoa. A lot of talk about him. He was in line for an Aussie jersey after his debut, I don't know how many games. He's not a debutant, is he? Was he like he was this year in the NRL? He played 5 games before, first full season really. But he gets to shine here now for Samoa at fullback, and I think he's going to cause some havoc for those teams, and we get to see him in action like that first game against England, his first real test. So I think as the tournament goes on, he is just going to get better and better, and I can't wait to see what he does in the knockout stages. So they're my three: Dylan Brown, Harry Grant, and Joseph Sawali.
I'd love to take the overs on sin bins for England Samoa, because I think it's going to be incredibly physical, that game with a lot in it.
You're going to have Bateman, Victor Radley, Elliot Whitehead. Like, there's going to be...
You got
and like
Luai,
yeah,
who's obviously not a pest and never gets on anyone's skin. You've got a big pack for Samoa as well. It's It's, I can't wait for that first game.
It will be good. You've conned me into it. I'm going to stay up all night and
there you go.
Have a kip for 3 hours.
Be a terrible father on Sunday.
Yeah, they'll get over it. I've been a terrible father for 10 years. They're used to it. Mate, let's have a quick look at some of the betting markets as futures. So, top try scorer for the whole tournament. Now, little fact here, the last 14 World Cups have featured an Aussie as the top try scorer. Fox and Taulagi, the top two at $4 and $6 respectively, followed by the Kiwi wingers. You found any value here, mate?
I was having a look, and he's fluctuated, so I want to have another check now. I like a back rower for Australia. I'm thinking an Angus Crichton, who especially the back half of the year at the Roosters was just nuts. I like him to have a massive tournament and to score a lot of tries as well. But he'd been jumping up down. He was somewhere in the 16s or 17s when I checked yesterday. But I think I'll be jumping on him. Let's have a look now. He has disappeared. Stephen Crichton. Nanai is at $51. He's another one.
Yeah,
because he's starting again in the back row. Crichton is blown out to $26. So, I mean, I like the value. Now I've seen Nanai at 51. I think I'll jump on that too.
Well, I think if you look at so Yo and Martin have been rested here for the first game. You've got to think like Yo comes in, plays that 13. Murray potentially goes to either one, probably Nanai's spot, or onto the bench as well. So be careful of that. With he mightn't play all the matches. He might play a few pool matches, but come the knockout stages, he mightn't be there.
Yeah, but I bet to lose. You know that, so I jump on roughies every time. So yeah, I think I'll have a little flutter on both of them. We'll see what happens.
Mate, I've one of my smokies is Cooler for Tonga. Now, he carved up in that trial match, or the trial match, in the warm-up match against France. I know it was against France, but I look at Tonga's pool, and with all respect to the rest of the countries in that, Tonga play three teams that are well below their quality and standard as far as I'm concerned. I could see him tearing a few of those teams apart, and if they can get a win in the quarters, I have a feeling he's there in the mix for top try scorer at the end at $61. I think it's worth a little dabble. Sebastian Chris, at $26. Yeah, at New Zealand, he's worth a shout. I think he's going to shine in that Kiwi squad. Like we spoke about, they've got talent all over the park, and I think he could be one of those ones shining at the end.
Dom Young, $13.
Again, another guy for England on debut, in for a big tournament. I know you're a big fan of his from the Knights. But I think also one of these top wingers for Australia, either Josh Adokar or Taulagi, they might not be there in the knockout stages as well. If a Burton and White and Shine, when they play and force themselves into a centre spot, pushing Valentine Holmes to the wing to make them stronger there, you might get one of them pushed out. So that's why I think one of those are a little bit danger. That's my worry for them. Holmes at $11 as well is a great shout for the Aussies.
What I want to know, and tell me, your big fat brain, how are New Zealand only fifth favourite to win the competition? They're $3.50 to even make the final, with Tonga, England, and Samoa, obviously Australia ahead of them. I don't understand that. Well,
I think because they come up against Australia if all going to plan, they come up against Australia in the semi-finals.
Yep.
So they're basically thinking that they're not going to beat them there, and anything happens in that final.
Good on paper.
Oh,
good on paper.
I would have a stab at them to win the whole tournament.
Yep.
Like, what are they actually paying to win the tournament? $4 even. Like, for me, Australia's too short at $1.53.
Yeah.
$4 for the Kiwis, who will likely come up against them in the semi. And that Kiwi squad, the longer it goes on, the better they gel, the better they come. So, $4 is pretty good because come that game, I think it's going to be like probably $2.50. If they're playing Australia in the semi-final, it could be $2.50, $1.60. So
that'll be a belter, that game.
Yeah, this is what I don't like. A lot of people bag the cup being a Mickey Mouse sort of tournament, but there's some really good games here and some good quality in all the squads. So, looking forward to it, mate. Let's have a look at some of the try scorers for each country. Now, I've just gone a couple of the top ones. I'll run through mine real quick. England, you spoke about him, Dom Young, $3.25. I thought he's pretty good. Samoa, Isaac Tago, $7.50. He's good on that left edge for Penrith this year. Like him there. Like I said, Holmes, I think he's a bit of a smoky there at $6.50 for Australia. Fiji, I think Sivo gets it, but Taruva, he offers some value as well. Kiwis, I've picked Sebastian Chris, and he's at $10, pretty good. Tonga, Kula, $7, and Lebanon, I've just had a look at that. Jacob Kiraz, I think he's going to score a few tries out the back, and he's paying $3. So they're my picks for some of the big ones. You got some of them?
I like Gebby at PNG.
Oh, yeah.
So he was playing, he was in the South system for a little bit, and he was doing some really good things in the Q Cup. He played against that Prime Minister's 11 side, 13 the other day, sorry. I thought he was outstanding. I'm pretty sure he's going to play on a wing for him with Alex Johnson at fullback. So you have Coates on one wing, Gebby on the other. Gebby's playing $6.50 to be their top try scorer.
Wow. Yep. Don't mind that.
I mean, I'm also betting against Alex Johnson try scorer, which you should never do, but he's also at $2, and I refuse to jump on board.
It feels like there should be a law against betting against Alex Johnson as top try scorer in any competition.
Said, I normally bet to lose money. If you were doing any of this, of course, do it responsibly, but take Roasty's picks and not mine, please.
Any others, or you happy to move on?
Yeah, happy to move along. I think you've named some good ones.
Samoa, we're going to kick into the game. Samoa v England, the big one we've talked about. Samoa, minus 3.5 favourites here. The overs is 41.5. The big match to kick off everything, like we said, 12:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Not that stupid Queensland time. Sunday morning. This has been hyped up a lot in the media, especially with Samoa having such a strong squad like we spoke about. England being on home soil. Some major talking points in this one. Radley making his debut for England. Dom Young as well. I was really impressed with Andy Ackers and Callum Watkins for England in that trial. Samoa, you've got all that hype around Suwali and this strong squad, their packed back line, as well as some big guns returning the forwards like Papali and Marty Tapau and that. How do you see this one playing out, mate?
My heart says Samoa. My head says England. I think England are going to be really hard to beat, especially first up. You think all the travel involved for the Samoan boys, most of that English team have been on home soil with the exception of Radley and Dom Young and a couple of others. I know they were playing a depleted Fiji side in their warm-up the other day, but as you said, a few of their players just looked outstanding. They did it in about second gear. They did it 50 points. England 13 plus as $6.50, which I think if England are going to win, I think they might ambush the Samoan boys in the first game. So I'm going to go with my brain. I'm going to say England win, even though I did pick Samoa as the big improvers this World Cup.
Mate, I'm with you. I thought, I actually sent in a group chat saying, I think this England side can roll Samoa in the first one. Majority of all those Panthers boys and some of the squad still hadn't even arrived on. I think they only arrived on yesterday. Yep. So they're going to have a limited preparation into the first game. They're still going to be tired, jet lagged. They're going to have to come into training where England have had that warm up game. All their players, majority of their players based over there already. I think it's just their prep's going to be a lot better. And when it's close, like only 3.5 points, I really like England at 235 head to head here. And I also said I thought England 13 plus at 675 is worth a dabble. I think this game could be anything. I think England. I think they get it over them in the first one and send a bit of a message through to the rest of the comp.
And watch Samoa win by about 30, and then we never do this again. Correct.
No one will listen to it. Everyone will bag us out. But hey, that's the game, isn't it?
Beauty of the internet, mate.
The next one, Australia v Fiji. Now, Australia minus 38.5 favourites here. The over's 55.5. Meninga opting to rest some grand final players, meaning Redcamp Gillard, Cleary, Martin and Yeo will miss the first game. Very strong squad regardless. Grant and Whiten both on the bench. Grant to come on and Hunt to possibly move into that lock position role for a bit. But what sort of role do you see Whiten playing in this one, mate? And do you think they should have gone with an extra forward, or do you like Grant as well as Whiten on the bench there?
No, I think they're pretty confident their big boys do a job early on, and especially you would think on paper by the time that Whiten and even Grant come onto the field, Australia might have a relatively healthy lead.
Yep.
You're going to have some very tired Fijian boys in the middle, and it allows Whiten to just roam around and go nuts, which you would think is what they're going to let him do, almost playing that 13 role. It won't be the case, I don't think, for with all respect to the Fijian side, playing a team like New Zealand or whoever it might be. I think that's when you just take the one small man on the bench. But for this one, I can kind of understand the thinking for Mal.
Coruscant, Kikau, Sivo, all to join the squad after missing that warm-up match. 38.5 points. It just feels like a lot for the first match of the tourney for them, but I think Australia will probably be too strong here, and I'll take them to cover that, the 38.5. I think they'll win by 40 plus.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Coruscant's the best 9 in the comp for what it's worth, but
yep.
I don't think a couple of men can compete against 17.
No. Scotland v Italy. Now, Scotland minus 12.5 favourites here. Again, we're recording this on Wednesday. We don't have any team list or anything yet, but I'm not even sure when they announce them. But we'll get that in as soon as possible. A real battle, I feel, of New South Wales Cup v Super League Championship here. Italy's squad made up mostly of New South Wales Cup players, while Scotland's filled with Super League and Championship players. Scotland did a warm-up match going down to the England Knights, basically an England A side. Maybe it's the thought of more Aussie-based players in the Italian side playing a little bit of bias in my head, but I think they could be in here. Maybe not as bold to back them to win the game, but that 12.5 points start looks all right. Yeah,
there's a good kid from Tully in North Queensland called Jack Campanolo in that Italian side, and I'm a fan of his as a player and a human being. So purely biased and going with my heart, I will back Italy at the $4 to win this one.
Yeah, you're going head to head. You like them?
I'm going head to head. I'm going to back them in with absolutely no research done behind it, just so I like some of their players.
We could cause some upset. We can get some upsets here. I'm going to take them with 12.5 points. I think it's going to be close. They could pull off a win. They could send a shockwaves through the World Cup tournament. Next one, Jamaica Ireland. Now Ireland minus 32.5. Luke Keary lining up for the Wolfhounds. I actually saw yesterday through some social. You had a Wolfhounds jacket, was it? It looked good.
I got a Wolfhounds one. I got a PNG one just in time for the World Cup. So, I got a
jealous.
soft spot for the Irish. I got a soft spot for the Irish, and there was one big enough to fit my fat guts. Yeah, I'm excited to see Luke lead that team around. I mean, they're not going to compete against the big boys, but it's a great chance. I think it might have even been you posted something on social media about a bloke that quit his job to play for Ireland this World Cup.
But that's a player that's caught my eye. Michael Ward, Irish Michael Ward. I've actually got a bit of a spiel here. I'll run through it. What first caught my eye was his flowing locks and his big beard. But his story is just as good as well. He's not the boxer Mickey Ward, sorry. It's Michael Ward, but he's got a heart just as big. He was a maths teacher who played for the Batley Bulldogs in the championship in England, and he couldn't get he's only part time and he couldn't get the required time off for the tournament. They wouldn't give him 4+ weeks, so he quit his job to fulfill his dream of playing in the World Cup, and he's now my new favourite player. I just love this story. So many people, like I said, bag the World Cup for being a bit of a Mickey Mouse tournament. Only the big teams can win, etc. But they forget that this game is played all around the world, and we have players like this that will now get to share a stage with some of the best in the game, and they will inspire the next gen of players, and who knows what the World Cup's going to look like in 20, 30 years. And Michael Ward, I'm going to be watching you with great vigour on every time you run out in the field, because for someone to quit their job to come play rugby league is deserves our respect. So can't wait.
Yep, it's a great story.
But yeah, Jamaica as well. This is their first World Cup. Don't expect them to probably do that well, but hey, it's great to see him in here, and who knows that maybe we can see some great talent come through, and who knows, we might see some of that talent in the NRL one day. So, but for me, yeah, Ireland 32.5. I think they're probably too good here with the amount of experience they got across the park. Yep. So I'll take them here. Another big one here, New Zealand v Lebanon. New Zealand minus 24.5 point favourites. Strong squad like we've spoken about for New Zealand. One of their best in a long time. Sebastian Kris with, I keep on saying Chris. He had a hat-trick in warm-up. Keep an eye on him for any time, 2 or 3 plus. I thought Cheese is always good for a sneaky try as well, assuming that they, both of them get named. New coach Michael Cheika comes in from coaching the Argentine rugby side for Lebanon. Loving the halves combo. Moses, Dewey come in. Very excited to see Jacob Karaz out the back as well. And the twins are back. Josh Mansour and Abbas Miski. They reunite on the wings, so great to see them back. Decent squad. They'll have some good games against Jamaica and Ireland, but I think they're going to be outclassed here by the Kiwis. Question, is it going to be over the 24 points or not?
Yeah, by quite a bit, I would say. I'll be jumping on board.
That's it. Great words from the master coach there.
Welcome. I mean, what else, mate? What else do you want? Yes, they will beat them by more than 24 points easily. What more can I say? They'll probably beat them by 50.
I want an exact score. Okay. No.
56-4. There you go.
There we go.
And Mansour scores.
How many? Oh, he's only one. Yep.
Looks straight in the eye and goes, up yours, Roasty, and that's it.
Cool. No, I'm glad he's taking this. He's taking this very personally. No, I love it.
Us bearded brothers, we stick together.
Love it.
You're not one of us. You got a heart. What that is?
That's a beard.
That's not a beard.
That's long.
No, it's not. It's an extension of your chin. There's no barber work behind that. No.
You're killing me. This is the first and last show I'll do with you again. Tonga v PNG. Tonga at minus 26.5. Some weapons all over the park here for Tonga, like we said. Fafita, he was firing in that warm-up match with a hat-trick. Cooley showed his speed. They got Kolomatangi, Olakawatu, Talakai, Penasini. I could go on, right? But as a Dragons fan, I'm really excited to see Amoni in the 6 as well over the next few weeks. Yep. Some great talent across the park for the PNG squad, like you spoke about with Olam, Johnson, and Gebby, sorry. But I think Tonga get the cash here well and truly, cover that 26.5.
See, I don't think they will. I think that's the one game that's going to be not necessarily close, but I think PNG could keep it within 12 to 16 points.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
Labour, Townsville Blackhawks, good little defender.
Yeah, but this is your northern bias coming in. See,
absolutely, it's bias. But you want my take? You asked for it before, then you slammed me when I didn't give you much. I think this is the one game where it's a little bit closer than everyone's saying.
Yep. I think Tonga with their weapons are going to be too strong, but yeah, it could be a very interesting game. I think also too here with all these lines in all these games, it is the first game, right? You'll probably see a few of these tighten up in the next week. So yeah, you could be right there, but I'm going to stick with my pick of them covering the line. Wales, Cook Islands. This is the last match. Cook Islands minus 17.5. Wales were able to score a few tries in their warm-up match against Lebanon, but we need to watch this one before I sort of get any reading on what these teams are going forward. The Cook Islands, they got beat pretty badly early in the year against the Samoan side that were missing a lot of players compared to what they have in this tournament. Has me worrying their ability to cover that 17.5. I think maybe this is the bias coming out of me from some family around the region. I'm going to take Wales to cover the 17.5 here.
You know what? And to round things out so we're friends again, I'm going to join you.
There we go. This is a game we'll be watching together.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
I've had enough here, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we're running over time, so we better go.
I've got a meeting to get to. Hurry up.
Mate, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much. Listeners, let us know who's gonna win the battle here. Who you riding with, myself or Elliot. But as always, gamble responsibly. Enjoy your football. And we'll talk in week 2. Enjoy the World Cup. I'm so excited for this. Setting the alarm clock very early Sunday morning.
On you, mate. Appreciate it.
Talk soon, brother. See ya.